Today, in the nerdy news you need to know about, Hollow Knight Silksong's difficulty explained. Tencent fires back at PlayStation over that Horizon Zero Dawn lawsuit, and Dying Light the Beast reviews are here. We'll have all this and more because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Thursday, September 18th, 2025. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside Forbes 30 Under 30, a.k.a. New York Game Awards nominated, a.k.a. What was they gave you a new Poppy thing right before I left. What was it?
Poppy of all trades.
Poppy of all trades. Blessing Adeoye Jr.
I like this shirt a lot. Where'd you get this?
I got this at the Microsoft Experience store.
You went to the Microsoft Experience store.
Yeah.
Was this recent?
Yeah, yesterday.
Okay, you got this yesterday.
I went to New York to play new Fallout 76 stuff that I'll tell you about soon. And they did this with South of Midnight too, where Microsoft's making Xbox making a big deal about having this Microsoft Experience store, where they have this space upstairs where they can make these like cool custom events around it.
Yeah.
And so it was there again this year. I went to South of Midnight earlier. Went there yesterday, and yeah, they had this NYC Xbox Subway shirt. And I was like, well, that's hot. I got to buy that.
I like that.
They said $30. Like, damn, I've already come this far. It's too late for me to back out now.
Tariffs. What are you gonna do about it? You know
The
what I mean?
threads.
Is Microsoft Experience? Is that like the Nintendo store for Microsoft? Is it?
It's more like an Apple store, right? You walk in there first
okay.
when they got all the Surfaces out and all the Xboxes out and all the stuff out. They have this giant LED, maybe OLED wall thing that wraps around. Nice. I tried to get a photo because they had a whole Claire Obscure thing going around on it.
Oh, really?
But by the time I whipped it out, they were onto something else. I was like, okay.
How big is this place?
It's a big show floor like an Apple store, and then upstairs is these special rooms and stuff, and they have a grounded upstairs for like, this is still like where you could go. You go upstairs and it's like the history of Xbox with all the Xboxes laid out, and then they have like a grounded thing you could ride and get a photo on.
So it's more Xbox themed, or is it more like Microsoft? Is there just an Xbox section of it?
No, there's a lot of Xbox.
Okay,
there's a lot of Xbox, but it's also, I would say the sides are all Xbox, and then upstairs is this Xbox section with like, you can play and try stuff out. And then, the space itself then is way more like an Apple store if the Surface is up. And like when I got the shirt, the lady's, oh, come with me. And she like pulled, the drawer out of the table that had like the stuff to check you out on was.
Nice.
Yeah. And then none of it worked, the checkout stuff. So then, she had to run to a different table. And then she's like, I'm going to go
to the Microsoft store. Your technology doesn't work.
I'm going to go get the receipt. I'm like, I don't need a receipt. I'm not going to return the t-shirt because I like it.
It's a good t-shirt. I like it.
Thank you very much.
It's cool. It's wonderful. How are you doing? How's your morning going?
It's good.
Nice.
Got home last night late because I came back from New York. Flew out on Tuesday to New York. Flew back from New York on Wednesday. That's a quick turn, you know what I mean? So I did the thing where I got home and it was like, 11 o'clock our time, right? So that's 2 o'clock New York time. And so when I got into bed, I woke up today it was one of those sleeps where I woke up and like, I haven't moved. And it was like someone unplugged the computer. Like there was no dreaming. There was no movement. I just woke up and I was like, oh man, I just hit the pillow and was gone.
Oh man.
That's a good sleep.
That is a good sleep.
What did I miss around here? 2 days out of the office. What happened?
What did happen? Mike and Andy did KFGD, where they tackled the whole. Did you see this latest news story about the government calling upon video game executives?
Come testify about your crazy groups.
Yeah, and so they called upon Gabe Newell and Dan Clancy from Twitch and a couple other people. And Andy and Mike talked about that on the show. Mike did not say a word. It was entertaining to watch because like,
oh really? Oh.
You could tell Andy was like,
oh yeah,
in it, right? Andy was trying to carry it, and then like. The way Andy describes it, right? Mike's not giving him the eye contact of like, yo, throw to me, I got something to say. And so Andy's just doing the thing of like, all right, cool.
I'll keep going. I'll keep
talking about this. I'll do the thing. And then they just went on to story number 2. And then afterwards, Mike's like, hey, you never threw to me. Jabroni, why'd you not throw to me? And it's like, well, you have to jump in.
Got off the bench. You gotta get off the bench.
You gotta get off the bench.
Yeah.
I think that was the main thing. Other than, we ordered pizza. Damn. We got Pizza Hut 2 days in a row.
Oh, wow.
Skate Early Access launch.
I know. I'm so bummed I missed Skate Early Access.
Oh, Skate Early Access has been fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been one of those ones where there's complaints. We'll see how the early access goes over time because there's a lot of improvements they need to make, but that's been a hit around here. Mike played like 8 hours of it on day 1.
Oh, yeah.
And so, he loves it.
Yeah. I texted him from the hotel room, like, how is it? And he just sent back the screen of like, I'm 2,000th in the queue.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? Just nightmare shit for early access,
That's
always online stuff. Yeah. Okay. Well, do you want to get into the news we've missed for today?
Let's get into it.
Because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday on a variety of platforms, we run you through the nerdy video game news you need to know about live on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames, youtube.com/kindafunnygames, and of course, podcast services around the globe. If you like that, of course, be part of the show. If you're watching live on Twitch or YouTube, go to youtube.com/kindafunnygames, where you can super chat your thoughts and opinions about the days, reviews, news, etc. that we cover in the show. No bucks tossed our way, no big deal. Like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. If you have Amazon Prime, you have Twitch Prime, we'd love your free 30-day subscription that they don't remind you about. If you want to go that extra mile, though, and give us some bucks after the fact or during the show, patreon.com/kindafunny, youtube.com/kindafunnygames, Apple and Spotify. You can pick up a Kinda Funny membership. You can get all of our shows ad-free. That's more than $80 a month. And of course, you could get your daily dose of me, Greg Miller, in a series we call Gregway, where I podcast from my car for 4 hours of exclusive podcasting each and every month. Housekeeping for you. We are an 11-person business, all about live talk shows. Right before this, we reacted to the 6-1 Indie Showcase. Round of applause for the 6-1 Indie team. What a great showcase. So many great games there. Big fan of everything they had on there.
Yeah.
A lot of things on the wish list.
A lot of things on the wish list.
Yeah. Of course, after Games Daily, you can get Gamescast, which is going to be our Sonic Racing CrossWorlds review. And after Gamescast is Screencast, every movie coming out the rest of the year. And after that, the stream is going to be Lego Voyagers with Mike and Nick.
Nice.
I can't wait to see them tear each other apart all about that.
No, that sounds like a pleasant time.
I'm sure it will
It's a cozy game.
They will make it not cozy. If you're a Kinda Funny member, today's Gregway is my 27-minute review so far of Ratatan.
Wow.
Ratatan. The Patapon spiritual successor came out in early access today. I played it on the entire flight home yesterday.
Wow.
Yep.
Like that.
Yep, it is like that. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Carl Jacobs, Omega Buster, and Delaney the Psalm Twining. Today, we're brought to you by Shady Raisin Factor. We'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin the show with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. Time for some news. 6 items on the Roper Report.
A baker's dozen.
Number 1, why Hollow Knight Silksong is so dang hard, according to Team Cherry. This is Austin Manchester over at Polygon. Just about all Silksong players can agree on one thing, whether or not they played the original Hollow Knight. The game is pretty freaking hard. Developer Team Cherry recently addressed the game's difficulty at the opening of a gaming exhibition at Australia's Australian Centre for the Moving Image. That's the ACMI, Tim. Museum. Sharing insight into just why the new game is proving so challenging. Quote, Hornet is inherently faster and more skillful than that of Knight. So, even the base level enemy had to be more complicated, more intelligent, Silksong co-director Ari Gibson said via Dextero. Co-director William Pellin said, quote, in contrast to the Knight's enemies, Hornet's enemies had to have more ways of catching her as she tries to move away, explaining how Team Cherry added new ways for Hornet's enemies to, quote, evade and check you. Team Cherry intended to, quote, bring everyone else up to match Hornet's level, and maybe did so a bit too much as the game's first patch made some bosses slightly easier to tackle. Being a Metroidvania, exploration is a key component of Hollow Knight Silksong, and letting players get lost is one way Team Cherry allows them to somewhat circumvent the game's difficulty. Quote, Silksong has some moments of steep difficulty, but part of allowing a higher level of freedom within the game means that you have choices all the time about where you're going and what you're doing, Gibson said. He said it's quote unquote fine if players are stuck on a challenging boss or encounter as, quote, they have ways to mitigate the difficulty via exploration or learning or even circumventing the challenge entirely rather than getting stonewalled, end quote.
Nice.
Blessing?
Yeah.
You have been enjoying Silksong, yes?
Well, I mean, I've only played for 2 hours. I've not been deep into it because there's a billion games that we're juggling
Of course,
right now.
we are doing a lot of reviews right now. 'Tis the season.
That said, that is music to my ears, them talking about exploration being the way that they curb that. Because for me, that appeals to the way that I play games. And for me, that's so analogous to Elden Ring and like why I think so many people were able to vibe with
Sure.
Elden Ring, where Dark Souls or Bloodborne or previous Souls games might have been a bit more difficult. Elden Ring, even though you had that same level of difficulty in the encounters and fights, it was so nice to be able to go, you know what? I'm just gonna turn this way and go somewhere else
Yeah,
instead,
turn around.
and not have to feel like I need to like bang my head against a wall. Now, granted, you're going to have people that still decide to bang their head against the wall. I think Barrett talking about how Andy would spend like 8-9 hours on just one fight, right?
Yeah.
And like,
No, that was me. I was spending time
that was
on
you.
one fight. Yeah. And now I'm
joy to
spending hours on another fight that I can't walk away from because I'm on the final boss.
The final boss?
Final boss.
How many hours in are we right now, Barrett?
On the final boss? Or
No,
just
the game. How?
74 hours.
Because you've rolled credits and then you've gone back, obviously, to
Yes.
do more. Okay.
Yes.
How
We'll
much are
talk
you
all
playing?
about it tomorrow on Gamescast.
Ooh, the final Hollow Knight Silksong review. I'm sure it'll
The
be
final.
more reviews. You know what I mean? It'll be. We did a review so far. This is Barrett coming in, having it beat. Has Andy beaten it yet?
Andy has
Done the credit thing, but
he is in the end game, I'll say.
okay.
The official end game.
Hold on. Guitar Hero Arrow says, "What reviews might they be doing? Feels like we're in an off season right now."
You're a fucking psychopath.
It is not an off season. I'm playing games. It feels like any moment I have of free time, I'm just playing video games.
Yotei, but what else they write? Are you kidding me? There's Redacted that I played on the way out there. Played Redacted on the way out.
Which Redacted? Is it the same Redacted I'm playing? He's typing now. He's typing.
Well, there's
Sonic
there's a redacted. We have
That
a
one?
Sonic Racing CrossWorlds
Okay.
review
Yeah.
right
Are you
after
playing that?
this.
Yeah, we have Sonic Racing right after that. Yeah, I'm playing that too.
I played it the whole way out there.
Mhm.
I mean, come on.
Come on.
Come on. Come on.
Come on.
You know what I mean? Come on.
Oh.
And then, the plan I was going to do is coming back, do the same thing.
Yeah.
But then,
Ratatan?
Yes, hold on. But
Ratatan.
before then, Eurogamer did a preview / little review of a game that is starting. Yes, I almost got it. My Steam is opening up though. It was No, I Am Human. It's a little horror game they like. Yeah, No, I Am Not a Human, which is
okay.
kind of like a Papers, Please zombie game.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
That's
So I
cool.
started that up and I did a few runs of that. And then, I had Ratatan on there. And then I was like, I'll check this out. And then before I knew it, I landed.
Alex J. Sandoval also points out we're just coming off of Borderlands 4, Hell Is Us, and Silksong as well, and some of us are still in the middle of Silksong.
I see a lot of people saying things in there that are correct. I can't say if you're right or wrong.
Yeah,
But you know what I mean?
I can't confirm
Just
nor
look
deny.
go to GameInformer.com/2025 and look at the games in the next 2 to 3 weeks and go, oh yeah.
Yeah,
No,
they're
there's a lot of
probably
stuff
gaming
happening
over there. Yeah.
Probably gaming. Yeah, there's a lot of shit going on over here. So yeah, back to it though. Sorry.
Hey, how are you enjoying Silksong? Or do you want to save it till tomorrow? Do you not want to die? Because we can move on.
For Silksong?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not on the review, am I?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I think we're.
I think
tomorrow's-
it's just Tim, Andy, and myself.
Yeah, tomorrow it's
Gotcha.
Tim shepherding the two guys who have theoretically beaten it at that point. I'm talking mainly Andy. I don't want to put pressure on him, but have
Yeah.
put lots and lots of hours into it. Silksong, I adored what I played and what I did. I haven't played more since the review. So what did I do at the time? That was 10, 12, something like that. Maybe a little bit more. I had a great time with it in a different world, would still be playing it, but it's that I'm on to the next thing, It's the review season right now because they don't need me to come in and be like, well, I played in another
Yeah.
10 hours. I'm 20 hours into Barrett's 75. Like, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
Andy into stream and all these different things. I think Silksong's great. As I said in the thing, had those skill check moments and I've overcome all of them. Now, I have not gotten to the crazier bosses. Like when they were like, we've nerfed these bosses. I'm like, I don't know who these men are. So I don't even know who you are. So it's like, clearly I'm not saying like I'm God tier or anything like that. But it's that thing of like, I've been enjoying Silksong enough. And we had this conversation in the review, right? Where it's like the way Hell Is Us had set me up of like, oh man, I kind of liked getting my ass handed to me and not understanding certain things.
Yeah.
This was a great follow-up chaser to that shot. And so like I was in it for that and having a great time with that and exploring and getting the map and failing and losing the beads and yada, yada, yada. But I'm also not, there's so many other things I'm playing and having such a great time that I don't sit there going, man, I got to get back to Hollow Knight.
Yeah.
Like I loved the shit out of those 10 hours, those 12 hours, whatever it was, whatever I said in the review. But no, I'm not like, I got to get back.
I'm happy that it's doing as well as the internet hype would have led you to believe, right? Like before the game came out, we had a small conversation of how much do we think this game is going to sell? Like
Yeah.
how well do we think this game is actually going to do? Not critically because we assumed it was going to do great critically, right? But like in terms of audience reception and in terms of how many people are actually going to play this game.
Yeah.
It's crazy to see that even till now I look at the Steam DB for the concurrence and you're still, I assume right now if I look, you're still going to be in the hundreds of thousands, right? Like so many people are playing this game. There was a news story yesterday that we had about how Hollow Knight Silksong had already eclipsed a third of the sales of the original Hollow Knight.
Yeah.
And if you remember, that game came in at around like 15 million sales. And so that game's cruising. Just like already cruised past the success, right? And now cruising toward, oh yeah, we're good for life. If you're the developers, right? It's like, oh yeah, we could retire off this shit.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. But hopefully they'll go back to work on another, magnum
Hollow
opus
Knight
here,
3.
another masterpiece. I think that goes back to it, it's
200,000 people still playing this game right now.
It's all we've had. We don't need to drag out the horse that has been killed, revived, killed again, dead, all right, undead, whatever, of difficulty in games, artistic vision, X, Y, and Z. But it's been interesting to see the way Hollow Knight has sucked people in, Silksong has sucked people in, and sure, I've seen plenty of people. I see if you don't follow Janet Garcia on BS, that's Blue Sky, Tim. You should, because every night's a therapy session of this poor woman playing this game.
Oh God!
And it's the last time she's gonna do it. She'll be back tomorrow. This, that, the other. No, I'm not gonna chase rosary beads. I'm chasing rosary beads. Like the ups and downs of Janet's journey with this. Like you can see the writing on the wall of it's driving her mad, but it also is like. I think that speaks to what a kind of game it is, that it's able to draw in a Janet Garcia, a Greg Miller. This is not our, bread and butter game, but like I loved it and wanted to play
Something
more.
I'd be like interested to examine. I'm sure many people have already talked about this, right? It's like Hollow Knight. It's not a Souls-like. I wouldn't describe it as a Souls-like, but there's like some Souls-like things about it. Namely, when we talk about the difficulty of it, we talk about how punishing it can be, but then also you talk about the setting and being just thrown into this mysterious world and exploring around, and like even tonally there's things about it that feel akin to a Dark Souls-y
for sure
vibe to it, even though it's a different genre, even though it is Metroidvania, it's firmly in that. I wonder what it is about that style of game nowadays that's really resonating with people, because it's not just resonating with the hardcores, it is visibly resonating with a gigantic bulk of people who play video games. And I wonder if that's like right now we're in an era where people just want to torture themselves. I wonder if we're in an era where people want to play something that respects their
intelligence
and respects their ability to figure things out and their ability to try again until they get it. I really wonder what it is about that's resonating with, because it resonates with me as well.
100%.
Right? I love that shit.
Yeah.
But I don't know why.
I think, I put up on BS, that's Blue Sky, Tim, yesterday, and Instagram as well. This video from Poogles, a kind of funny best friend. It was a video essay. I don't know if you got a chance to see it. You should check it out as a fan. But about how we're playing games wrong. And it is this idea that we devour them and on to the next thing. You don't sit there and process anything. You don't get to live in anything. And I think because of these skill checks and the what do I do next? And I'll double back here. And you end up living in that Hollow Knight Silksong world in a way that you don't in a lot of games. Same thing I was talking about with Hell's Us, right? Where it was like these environments I walk into that has no map and I'm like, I'm going to be lost forever. But 2 hours later, I've been there long enough and run around that I now understand it. And I now vibe with it. And the same thing, so we have a super chat here from Y Blessings who says, there are some bosses in Silksong I struggle with that I was able to do again using a different crest or tool. I love that about game. Cherry. I think you're commenting
about
Team Cherry.
Yeah,
I love it about Team Cherry, probably. Yeah, I think that's such a great part of it. And again, like even with any of these kind of games, whether you're talking about Souls, whether you're talking about Ratatan, coming back and you are slightly more powerful, or you've done this thing and you've unlocked this thing, and now this boss that was so difficult before, you have their number, and maybe they still beat you, but you get that ray of sunshine, that glimpse of hope that I can do this.
Yeah,
like that's when games are at their best, is when it is that idea of like, and I assume Barrett, even in your 8-hour sessions with one boss, you're having the same thing where it's like, fuck, if I would have just like, I could have done that. I could. Wait,
Camera's frozen.
Well, the Kevin PNG will be Barrett for the rest of the show. But it's that idea of like,
that fight I absolutely fucking hate, and that fight, out of all of the fights that I've had, there's only 3 that I've actively disliked, and the one that I was stuck on for hours is one that, even looking back at it, I'm like, I did not enjoy that fight. I did not enjoy how that fight was designed. But there are a lot of other fights in this game where, you know what we talk about with downloading the boss and figuring it out and seeing through the matrix, right? Like even this final boss that I'm stuck on, I've been at it for probably a total of like an hour and a half over the last couple of days, just because I haven't had much time to play. And even though it's frustrating as hell, there are a couple of times I'm like, okay, I'm figuring out phase 2. I'm slowly getting to it, which is really cool and satisfying.
Oh yeah,
nice.
And I think there is respecting the player's intelligence and then making them work for something. And then video games, I think, are at their best with aha moments. And I think those can be big and those can be small. And I think it could be as simple as the first time you played Mario and jumped on a Goomba, you're like, that's how you
that's how you do it.
cool.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you know what I mean? To like a bigger reaction of figuring out a boss or downloading this thing or whatever. Blah. And so I think those moments come in all these different genres and different game types in different ways. But I do think that there's just such a glut of, all right, go here and do this. All right, I follow the yellow line. I look at my map and I know exactly where to go. And I'm on autopilot. Like I would say, I've mentioned on a show, I would say the last 3 months, but maybe 6, I've had to have the like honest conversation with myself when I go downstairs to play a game at night of like, cool, phone over there. Because I find myself like, I play, and I get to the cutscene that I wasn't excited for, but that's when I check what's going on. I'm like, why am I fucking doing this? I want to be engaged with this. Why am I getting distracted by that? And I think sometimes it is that a game, we always talk when you're playing a game, right, about here's what the actual core mechanics are. Here's what the game cycle is of what you're doing. And sometimes you can get into that and you're in a game that has a cycle that can be good, bad, or otherwise, and it's going for so long that you can kind of go on autopilot. Yeah. And I think a game that challenges you to not be on autopilot, to be engaged, to, oh my God, that boss is dead as I thought it was, or it's going to explode. Like all those little things are like really cool moments.
I think it's like the friction versus the lack of friction. Like I think so. A lot of games that you get are designed to be frictionless because they want to keep the player moving and they want to keep the forward momentum going. And sometimes, I think a lot of the times, frictionless can be good. Right? I'm playing a game right now that I'll describe as frictionless, but I think that is additive and not, doesn't take away from it. But I think when games can find places to place the friction that gives us the aha moments and makes us feel enabled to either solve a thing or get better at the game, that I think adds so much to that feeling of, damn, I just did that shit. Like there's a post, there's a BS, that's Blue Sky Tim, from Derek Yu, aka Mossmouth, who's the developer of Splunky, where he has a thread that I like a lot, right, that I retweeted, where he says, in theory, games are the perfect place to teach that failure is not only okay, but a necessary stepping stone to success. But now it's so easy to switch a game with guaranteed progress, so games with consequences for failure are more risky to make, creating a cycle. He also goes on to say that this convo I had highlights the difference in what respects to your time means in games. A lot of players want to trade time for in-game progress. It's purely transactional, i.e. 1 hour equals 1 progress. But I want to feel like my actions matter, i.e. what I do with my time creates progress, not time itself. And I think to Barrett's 8 hours fighting a boss, right? Like Barrett didn't have to do that shit. But I think I think there's something that is enticing about like, hey, I am choosing to do this with my time because the way that I'm using this is going to lead to me having that feeling of, damn, all right, I just did this. I just made progress. And I think that's what makes a really great experience.
I think there's a great juxtaposition here in this conversation for me personally with Borderlands 4 and then Ratatan last night, right? Where Borderlands 4 is a frictionless game. You know what I mean? I think they took so much from everything else and they right into the action, right to go. Here you go shoot shit, blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? Which for me, I was missing stakes and reasons, and it was like, okay, it's more Borderlands because I'm just getting all the stuff. Blah, blah, blah. Whereas like yesterday on the plane, and I'm a huge Patapon fan, right? I've been looking forward to this. I backed Ratatan. Those first 45 minutes, I was like, shit, do I not like this game? Like, it was a fire hose. I talk about this in the review on Gregway of like just a fire hose of jargon and systems and like not explaining things well. And it's like, this seems simple and too cutesy. And then it was like, after that 45 minutes of, oh, wait a second, there's this economy going on with donuts and candy. Shit, fuck. Oh, and if I do this, then I get that. And I went further and I got this weapon that I can then break these down and make. Oh, okay. And like those little aha moments of like, oh shit, every run is going to pay off in making my team stronger, even if I fail at the same boss every time, which I don't. I'm awesome at this game, but I mean, I'm going to be able to go back and be stronger and go back and do the thing and like that's when games are excelling, right? Versus autopilot. I'm going to the objective to go kill this thing and do the same thing I did 5 hours ago, 6 hours ago, the same way I did it.
Yeah, which can sometimes be great. Like, Spider-Man is an example of a game that I'll say is frictionless.
Yeah.
But also, I think the frictionless makes that experience makes that great, right? Like, I go in, I swing, I fight, upgrade the skill tree. I might die a couple of times, but if I die once, it's like I'm gonna beat the encounter the next time, right? It is a forward, a propulsion experience. I am never really getting stuck.
Propulsion experience. Yeah, exactly. You're never slammed up against a wall in Spider-Man where you're like, fuck this, I'm gonna go swing around the city for 4 more hours and try to do whatever.
Yes, but I look at a game, I guess to pull deeper in the Duffy, right? Like I look at The Witness, and that is a game that you got to stare at a panel until you understand what that puzzle is trying to tell you. And I fucking love that game. And yeah, I think maybe there's something to that as far as like what's sticking for Hollow Knight and like what's sticking for these types of games for people right now. I think people want that.
Yeah, I think there's so many different indies and smaller games we can point to that are, oh man, this will push you, this will challenge you, A Witness, Blueprints, etc.
Yeah.
But it's so hard for those games to get the kind of marketing, but in reality, buzz and fandom that something like Hollow Knight did. We always talk about how, oh man, a short marketing cycle and Hollow Knight Silksong cycle was technically 10 years or whatever, and it worked out for them in a very, in a way that not everybody could do, obviously. But this is a thing that was on enough people's radar that they want to go in, and when you get into that kind of game, you're gonna find hopefully something that speaks to you that does challenge you, and even if it is, I suck at this, but if I keep getting rosaries, I can get all these different crests, and I can come back and be stronger.
Oh yeah, I gotta get back to a Hollow Knight.
You won't anytime soon.
I hope. I feel
like there's about to be a window, but I feel like it's gonna close in 2 seconds.
Yeah, the thing is, there's like gonna be the smallest window, but then October gets crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Number 2 on the roper. Well, actually, Barrett, how long have we been going?
26 minutes.
Okay, I was gonna say. Then we'll get number 2 in before the ad break. Number 2 on the roper report. Tencent fires back at Sony over the Horizon clone lawsuit. This is Tom Phillips at IGN.com. Tencent has hit back at Sony's lawsuit that claimed the upcoming game Light of... We did this whole...
Motiram?
Motiram? Or am I putting too much T on there? Motiram? Was nothing more than a slavish clone of Horizon Zero Dawn, and highlighted concerns within the PlayStation maker that its own game was too similar to enslaved Odyssey of the West to the West. In a fresh response to Sony's legal action, Chinese tech giant Tencent branded the lawsuit as impermissible. As an impermissible attempt to claim ownership of well-trodden tropes, such as red-headed heroine fighting robot dinosaurs, and a bid by Sony to gain a monopoly over an entire genre. In a legal filing reported by the Game Post, Tencent described Sony's move as an overreach and highlighted other game franchises with similar elements to Horizon Zero Dawn, such as The Legend of Zelda and Far Cry. It was quote-unquote startling, Tencent said, that Sony would now attempt to claim Horizon's concept as original rather than an idea based on, quote, ubiquitous genre ingredients, end quote.
That's crazy.
Quote, by suing over an unreleased project that merely employs the same time-honored tropes embraced by scores of other games released both before and after Horizon, like Enslaved, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Far Cry Primal, Far Cry New Dawn, Outer Wilds, Biomutant, and many more, Sony seeks an impermissible monopoly on genre conventions, Tencent wrote.
Barrett, can you look up some gameplay of Light of Motiram?
Sony's claim that Horizon was an original PlayStation concept was also flatly contradicted, end quotes, by remarks made in a behind-the-scenes documentary by Van Beek, Tencent stated, claiming that Guerrilla had briefly shelved work on Horizon Zero Dawn due to internal concerns it shared too many similarities with Enslaved. Quote, long before this lawsuit was filed, the developers of Horizon Zero Dawn publicly acknowledged that their very same game elements that today Sony claims to own exclusively were in fact borrowed from an earlier game, Tencent argued. Mr. Van Beek warned, quote, I don't think we should do this. It touches too many of these other points, end quote, referring to prominent elements of Enslaved. Sony shelved the project, only to revive it later with full awareness that the idea was far from novel. When Horizon Zero Dawn finally launched in 2017, the gaming community noted its striking resemblance to Enslaved and other genre staples, end quote. Like, I just looked up and looked at this trailer. I'm like, we're showing the Horizon. Oh, no, this is their game. Right. Tencent's rebuttal attempts to dismiss other elements of Sony's lawsuit too by stating that its work on Light of Morium was unconnected to its failed pitch meeting with Sony for a Horizon spinoff. Tencent has also claimed that Sony's entire lawsuit is invalid because the company had named the wrong parts of Tencent in its initial complaint.
There's so much here. There's so much here.
If you're an audio listener, you owe it to yourself to go look at the footage of Light of Morium. Because I remember when this lawsuit went up and we did it, and they're like, yeah, and they met with them and almost did a game in the Horizon universe, but then they stopped. And it's like, all right, well, pretty clearly we see what happened then, right?
There was a pitch between Tencent and Sony to have the studio work on a Horizon spinoff, and that was named, and I believe that was named in the Sony lawsuit that they put out. So for them to come out and be like, oh, no, it's disconnected it, and then we see the gameplay, and we're like, well, that looks like Horizon. I also love that. I understand that this is a lawsuit, and so like if I'm going to throw them any bail, it's the fact that like, all right, cool, you're gonna look for anything.
Yeah. Even
the dumb arguments, it's like you're not trying to make the argument to the people, you're trying to make the argument to the fucking I don't know, judge or jury, like the people that are gonna make the decisions on whether or not this is gonna go through or not. And so like, but it's so funny for them to be like, other video games exist. Dinosaurs existed in a video game. Horizon's kind of like enslaved to the Odyssey or enslaved Odyssey.
It's like, look at this footage that we're seeing of the Light of Morium game that looks exactly like Horizon, and then imagine putting this next to Zelda and being PlayStation and being like, see, Zelda, you can't make Zelda anymore because what are we talking about?
Super Mario lets you press buttons.
What are we fucking talking about? Now this of course goes back to Nintendo and their lawsuit about fucking having a game where you capture people and summon them or whatever. Like, copyright, man. What the fuck?
Everybody's going after everybody.
Everybody's going after everybody.
Down.
It's all calm down, that's right.
I do think Sony has a case.
No, I think Sony's got a big case here. I understand, like you said, Tencent's got to fight back.
They gotta say something.
They gotta have a lawyer.
They gotta fight back.
This lawyer is lawyering. I'll give them that. But if I was on the jury, I would say, bam, no.
To be honest,
but it's startling, Greg.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? If I'm putting myself in the shoes of the lawyer and I got to defend Light of Ultram, what am I gonna say? I'd probably say the exact same shit. I'd probably be like,
listen,
fuck. I got it.
Can we see the Enslaved Odyssey of the West trailer? Listen, this thing looks a lot like it, doesn't it? So it's like, we got it. Come on now.
It's like, I heard that they shelved it because of Enslaved.
Yeah, we have this one throwaway comment in a documentary that they thought it was too similar because the plant life had grown over the United States. So like,
yeah, and also they named the wrong part of Tencent. So like, is this lawsuit?
Yeah, why are they suing? Why are they suing the?
They're suing Tencent West or Tencent East.
You can't do this. You can't come here.
You can't do that.
Did you ever play this?
No, I never played Enslaved Odyssey to the West.
I mean, right here again, clearly Horizon footage. I'm kidding.
I was gonna say I want to see the main character. Okay, well, there's robots. So that's the redheaded.
There's a redheaded person.
But like, you're playing as this other guy, right?
I think you
went both.
Chat. Remember if I remember you, we went back and forth between them. Is that right? Or was it she was just on my back doing stuff?
This looks more like a Borderlands to me in terms of style. Like Borderlands.
Don't give Randy any ideas on who to sue.
Randy's like, oh shit, I gotta call him up.
He's like, how can I get away from all the problems we're having? Yeah, I want to change the conversation. I'll sue Enslaved.
God. Well, good luck to Light of Ultram.
Good luck to you.
Here's my thing is, I think that game looks good though. Like, I kind of hope it comes out. I want to play it.
And they'll settle, and then it'll be back to being some shitty ass weird Horizon spinoff, and they'll go that way. Ladies, gentlemen, NB. We couldn't do this without you if you didn't know, because we're Kind of Funny Games. Each and every day we have a litany, a bevy of live talk shows for you to enjoy on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames, youtube.com/kindoffunnygames, podcast services around the globe. But we couldn't do it without your financial support. You can pick up a Kind of Funny membership for $10 and get 80 episodes of ad-free content a week. And of course, get your daily dose of me, Greg Miller, in a 15 or 27-minute podcast each and every day for your ears and eyes. I call Gregway. Of course, if you went to Patreon, you could also get things like happy hour, premium posters, all sorts of cool stuff. But right now, all you need to know is that membership. Patreon.com/kindoffunny, YouTube.com/kindoffunnygames, Apple, Spotify. Get it wherever you can to support us and get a better version of the show. Right now, though, you're not using your benefits. So here's a word from our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by Shady Rays. You know that moment, the one when you realize you left your favorite sunglasses at the beach or on the roof of your car or in that gas station miles away. We've all been there. Nick Scarpino once left a pair of sunglasses in Vegas, and I've never heard the end of it. It wasn't my fault, but now there's Shady Rays. They've changed the game. These sunglasses are made for real life. Seriously good looking, polarized, durable, and not stupidly expensive. And here's the wild part. If you lose or break them, even on day one, Shady Rays will send you a brand new pair. No guilt trip, no replacements. So now Nick can wear his sunglasses without fear on urban hikes, at comedy shows, at the old folks' home, wherever. Shady Rays is eyewear that has your back. We've teamed up with Shady Rays to bring you an exclusive offer. Head to shadyrays.com and use the code FUNNY for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. That's shadyrays.com, code FUNNY for 35% off polarized sunglasses. This episode is brought to you by Factor. Fall always feels like a reset. Between back to school, busier routines, and shorter days, finding time to cook can be tough. That's why I love Factor. Their chef prep, dietitian approved meals make it easy to stay on track and enjoy something comforting and delicious no matter how hectic the season gets. Factor removes the work and gives me a delicious, healthy meal in mere minutes. You can choose from a wider selection of weekly meal options, and for the first time ever, try Asian-inspired meals with bold flavors influenced by China, Thailand, and more. Eat smart at factormeals.com/kindafunny50 off and use the code kindafunny50 off to get 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. That again is code KINDAFUNNY50 off at factormeals.com for 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. Get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered with Factor. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with the code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. Number 3 on the Roper Report, Dying Light the Beast review roundup. This one snuck up on me.
Oh, yeah.
We get an email about Dying Light the Beast at least 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Usually a soundtrack of this thing, what they're doing post-launch. I don't know how they can make so much fucking news.
They love PR emails about Dying Light because they did this last time, too.
It has a Metacritic of 78 and an OpenCritic of 82. Travis Northup over at IGN gave it a 7 out of 10. Dying Light the Beast is an entertaining return to the rooftops and flesh pits I've come to love over the past decade. The gimmick of amping yourself up into a scary monster to fight other monsters sticks the landing and mostly makes up for a generic story and a map that has few surprises in store. However, aside from your new rampaging abilities and some freaky new boss fights, the Beast does stick pretty close to what worked in the last 2 games. So it may feel a little bit rote to those who have played those recently. Its signature blend of parkour and melee-focused combat remains largely the same, and there's certainly nothing wrong with having more Dying Light. Over at GameSpot, Mark Delaney gave it an 8 out of 10. Dying Light has always been a series that does a few things very well, but would get distracted trying to be a lot more at the same time. Finally, the Beast leans into Dying Light's best parts, giving you a scarier, tougher, more immersive world to explore than anything in the series before. And then finally, for our purposes, it got a 70 out of 100 over at PC Gamer. Christopher Livingston wrote, a more gritty survival horror experience than Stay Human, but Techland's new first-person parkour game still stumbles a bit. Blessing, we got code for this alongside everybody else, but again, we are an 11-person small business. I didn't get a chance to boot it up. Have you even thought about it?
I haven't, which...
Also, those titties were blurred back there. I've never noticed that in a trailer before. They had zombie titties and they were blurred.
I didn't notice the titties.
I always notice titties.
I guess, yeah, I never
right
think
there,
about...
right there, right there.
Wow, I never think about zombies having titties.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
It's kind of crazy that that's the first time I've even seen that. So I have thoughts here. Right?
Okay.
I think, firstly, this is music to my ears. It's sitting at a high 70 to low 80.
Like a game I can miss, great.
Yeah, well, but also that's what I would expect out of Dying Light. You know what I mean? Coming off of Dying Light 2, we all enjoyed it a lot, but I think the way that they're talking about this is probably the exact same way I'll talk about Dying Light 2, which I enjoyed. And so I'm like, cool. At least it's not bad. Give me an okay to good experience. That's all I want out of Dying Light. It does suck that it's coming out right now. I wish this came out at a February, March, even though I'm sure if it did, I'd probably be saying the same thing of man, I wish this came out during the summer because games are just coming out at all times now. But when Dying Light 2 came out and we all played it, that hit, I think we played it in January.
Yep, it was a great time, right? It was right there.
So it was all we had, and we, were able to devour it like that. I think my main thought is, I feel like even though we just talked about the PR emails, I feel like this had less overall marketing than Dying Light 2. I remember Dying Light 2, the lead up to it being a bit more exciting and hype. That one, I don't think snuck up on us.
No, but again, that one hit at that January, February time period where you come out of that new year. Our industry is a industry that is slow to start up. And so if you can get in there and make an impression, that's why you, me, and Janet all played it, right? We had okay, cool. There's no other game coming out of note right now, so we can go in and dedicate the 30 hours it was to run through and fuck around in there.
Yeah.
I feel like that's such a great placement for it, whereas this isn't, where you are among so many other games that I look at this and I go, cool, 7s and flat 8s, and it sounds how I would describe the last Dying Light. I haven't been hankering for more Dying Light since Stay Human. Like, and that's not
Yeah.
to say I had a bad time with Stay Human, right? Like, I enjoyed what we played of it, with the exception of the horrible final boss that just
fucking
ruined the entire fucking experience. But like, there's been Dying Light is classic as a franchise, as an IP of adding things to their games for years and years and years and years and years. If I was like, man, I want to play some Dying Light, turn Dying Light 2 back on, and I'm sure there's a million quests that have been added and all sorts of bug fixes and things there, where it's just like, I'm glad this exists. I'm glad there's an audience for this. Like you said, I'm glad that it's not crap. I'm glad that hey, here's a game that is serving the fan base and the audience. But I'd rather try, as I'm in the spooky season now, I'd rather play other new horror games doing new horror ideas than go back to something that's even similar, right?
Yeah.
I don't like the whole I'm the beast now. That's not that doesn't.
See, yeah, that didn't appeal to me, and I think that's my thing when I think about the marketing for this one versus the marketing for the last one. Where leading into Dying Light 2, they will talk about you can make decisions within the settlements, and this will raise water in this place, and this will change this and that. And here, it's more so around like, oh, you are going back to this character from Dying Light 1, and I didn't play through Dying Light. Well, I played Dying Light 1, but I didn't enjoy it enough to be like, I identify with this character, so I'm like,
100%.
Him returning doesn't do anything for me. And then the beast aspect, I'm like, oh, I don't want to play as a beast. I want to play as a human. That's why I like Stay Human, because I stayed human. But yeah, like this is one that I could see myself, if we ever get like enough free time, which will never happen. But if we ever get enough free time, I could see myself returning to it.
Fair enough.
Also, I want to shout out Unique Technique in chat, who said Dying Light the breast, which is really good.
I like that.
That's
one.
really good.
Sorted by first name, super chats in. It says, I've been off work this week playing Borderlands 4 and Skate. Just played 2 hours of Dying Light, and I'm going to drop that to pick back up when it's quieter. Just another slow week in this quote-unquote off-season. Wake up! What are you talking about? So many goddamn games out there.
Sound like Chop Suey.
Wake up! I'm surprised you know Chop Suey.
I really like that song.
Yeah? I was going to say,
really like that
I've
song.
thrown so many of that, like, Q101 alternative butt rock at you, and you're like, I've never heard this
never
song
heard of
before.
that. Chop Suey, though. I fuck with that.
Father, to your hands I commend my spirit. Father, to your hands, why have you forsaken me? What a fucking jam.
What a
God
song.
damn. Number 4 on the Roper Report. Sony fires Ghost of Yotei artist after posts joking about Charlie Kirk killing. This is Bryant Francis over at Game Developer. Sony Interactive Entertainment subsidiary Sucker Punch Productions appears to have fired senior texture artist Drew Harrison over posts made on Blue Sky that joked about the September 10th killing of conservative commentator Charlie Kirk. In a statement to Kotaku, a Sony person confirmed that Harrison is no longer employed at Ghost of Yotei developer Sucker Punch Productions. This statement follows a number of now deleted posts from Harrison, where she stated the following, quote, "If standing up against fascism is what cost me my dream job I held for 10 years, I would do it again 100 times stronger." Harrison declined to comment when reached by Game Developer. Harrison had previously posted that individuals from social media were contacting her employer and attempting to get her fired, and that she'd received a barrage of anonymous calls that seemed to come from an ongoing harassment campaign. Her Blue Sky profile now appears to have been deleted. In her original post, she made a comparison between Kirk's then unidentified killer and Luigi Mangione, thank you. The 27-year-old who was accused of killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in December 2024. Quote, "I hope the shooter's name is Mario so that Luigi knows his bro has got his back." She posted, period.
This is one that, like, if you've been on Twitter or Blue Sky, right? Like,
if you've been breathing.
Yeah, you've seen so much hubbub about this. And coming off of last night where they announced Jimmy Kimmel is being taken off air due to comments that he made about the Charlie Kirk stuff, which his comments were barely even punchlines. Like, he was more so...
It was calling out the hypocrisy, right?
It was more so calling out the White House and the administration rather than making any sort of joke about Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, I think obviously there's something in the air now when you're talking about the climate that we're in, when you're talking about politics, when you're talking about the Charlie Kirk killing, and like how that has made people batten down their hatches on either side of like, yo, fuck you, no, fuck you kind of type shit, right? And everybody's very sensitive about it right now.
Yeah.
There's so much to say about, like, I mean, going back to the Jimmy Kimmel thing of the hypocrisy around, I'm going to go after you and go after your job kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think there's a hypocrisy in terms of how certain people talk about cancel culture, but then when the thing is flipped, it is we're gonna literally cancel your show, your comedy show kind of thing. Yeah. Regarding this is such a weird one because I think on one hand, I mean, on the biggest hand here, right? Like, fuck harassment campaigns, especially if you're going after somebody who's out here tweeting a joke and then you're going to make it your life's mission to go after them and their job and do all that shit. I think on the smallest other hand, I think me and you both know PlayStation and both know how PlayStation operates as far as not really wanting people to be, I guess, personalities, right? And like, PlayStation is very careful about their image and very careful about like, hey, even if we want to interview somebody, it's like you got to reach out to PlayStation. You don't reach out to the person directly, kind of thing. And so, I think when you work at PlayStation and you put up a tweet that could kind of shake that up, I could see a thing of like, okay, well, hey, like you know the company that you're working for and you know how they would respond to something like this. Outside of that, right? Like, I think this whole situation sucks from all sides. Like, there's not really much for me to say about it as far as like a hot take kind of thing.
Yeah,
I just think it all sucks.
At this point, are there any hot takes?
Yeah,
I mean, this deep into this, you know what I mean? Again, like news anchors being fired for what was the one? Horrible thoughts lead to horrible words, lead to horrible outcomes, or something like that.
Oh,
and like that
yeah,
guy was
yeah,
fired
yeah,
for
yeah.
that. Like, it's a scary time right now to be out there saying anything, anything, anywhere, at anything about any of this. Yeah. So it's like
authoritarianism on the rise, baby.
It's, you know, this idea is, so there's, again, how do you want to tackle this and what do you want to do and what do you want the hot take to be and blah, 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 blah. Well, I would go with this angle on this one. Let's step back from authoritarianism. Let's talk the Charlie Kirk of it all and da, da, da. And I'm not saying those aren't important. I'm just saying for talking in this conversation on a podcast right now, I go back to a very, very, very crazy story I did at the time that is so quaint right now. When I was working when I was in Mizzou and you work for the Columbia Daily Tribune, or I'm sorry, you work for the Columbia Missourian there, I was tasked with our first redesign of the Sunday paper. I did this big cover story for it. And what it was this woman had been fired from the Missouri government because her bosses had run some kind of search on her email and found her talking shit. And at the time, it was so crazy that your bosses, it was like one of those, like, they can't do that. And then people, like, no, they can. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was like in Missouri, the first instance of this. Remember, I'm old as shit. So this is like 2004, we'll say 2005. So like, you can understand technology and people just didn't think that way. You jump to where we are now, right? And this is an example of the reality we all live in. You were very quick to call it PlayStation, this, the other. And it's like, yes, that's accurate, but most, if not everybody, you sign a contract with, right, in a career job, not just delivering pizzas or whatever. You might even have it there. I don't even know. Have defamation clauses or company morals or whatever, and blah 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 blah. Where it's like the stuff you're doing online does matter. And again, to the statement from Harrison, right, of saying, if this is what it costs me to stand up to fascism, I'll do it. Like.
And that I feel like
exactly like you got to do what you got to do. This is what we talk about all the time. You got to stand by. You got to stand for something or fall for everything, right? And you got to have a strong moral code. And you got like they're owning it, right? There isn't this. Oh, but what the fuck? You know what I mean? But it is like, yeah, this is where we're at right now. As this culture war continues and will only intensify and only get worse.
Yeah,
fucked up. It's a fucked up time to exist right now.
Oh man, I'm sure everybody's having talks about there in the group about it in their group chats, but I was having to talk about it in my group chat this morning, just about like we were bringing up. There's a new Leo DiCaprio movie that's getting tens and that people are loving, right? And I was like, yo, anybody seen this movie? Because I'm down to go watch it. And they're like, one of the conversations that spurred from that was like, man, is there an increase of rebellion movies or is it just me, right? Like, is this a thing that's happening more? Which like then led to a conversation about just how divided it feels currently. And that's not a new feeling, right? Like, I think I've felt this strongly since 2016, but even more and more, I guess, as we're getting deeper into the first year, only the first year, not even a full year into the Trump presidency, the second Trump presidency, right? Like that division feels stronger and stronger. And it's to the point now where, people who I wouldn't even think either follow Charlie Kirk stuff, right, or like thought of Charlie Kirk as a positive figure. I'll see tweets or I'll see like posts on Facebook, because every now and then I still log on to Facebook, or I'll see like Instagram posts from a person where I'm like, oh damn, you like Charlie Kirk? wow, like I would not have thought, and like they have strong thoughts the other way. And like that is existing more and more, and those people always existed. Those people, they're not just appearing out of nowhere, right? These are people that you know, or like I guess depending on where you live, right? These are people that exist in places of the country, right? Like are out here, and they believe these things, and they have these thoughts, and like we gotta reckon with the fact that like, yo, there's a large population of people that have strong feelings that are pointed that way, and like I don't know, I don't even know the point I'm making here. I think it's more so just the fact that like
a vent, I imagine.
It's a vent, but also I think it's the fact that like those people are also getting louder and louder, and those people are also feeling the division, and we're headed to a place that I feel like is very scary. I think that's the thing that I'm landing.
Oh, we've been there for a while.
Buddy. Yeah. You know, all this happened. All the Charlie Kirk stuff happened while Jen was out of town picking up her sister, and then her sister, you know, then they were in town, and so we hadn't had a chance to catch up on it in a while or whatever. And when we finally were talking, you know, she was like, "Do you feel like this is a crossroads?" And I'm like, "I feel like we crossed the crossroads a long time ago.
Yeah,
like now we're just now we are just dealing with, we're reaping what we've sowed, and we'll see, but it's only gonna get worse."
Oh yeah,
there's no positivity on where we're going and what's going to happen here. So it's like awesome.
But don't give in to nihilism, please.
Of course,
as always, because I know it's easy to go down that path when we have these conversations. What's the saying? Think globally, act locally. Get involved in your communities and try to fight for positive change that makes the material conditions of you and everybody around you actually better.
Yeah.
I think it's the usual one you hear too of like, I'm trying to like, this all sucks. Again, I feel like if this was one of those situations where we could have the other side around the table, this all sucks. Mm-hmm. No one's happy right now, right? In what this is. But I think what's usually fascinating, and to Barrett's point of acting locally, right, is that idea that at least, and I'm maybe being privileged for where I live or whatever, but and who I am, and you know, of course, just being a white guy or whatever. But like, I feel like you're not running into that in your day to day. There's an old quote that I would never be able to dig out right, but it is that idea of, for the most part, the people you're running into IRL are trying to do the right thing and help you out. Like, you know, we're trying to make this whole dream work together, even if you're on the different sides of the aisle or whatever the fuck you want to say, right? But it's when you log online and it's just everyone vomiting and talking about how terrible everything is and how we're and like calling out the same things that are abomination. And like, I'm not saying these aren't, but it's just like, there's Jen and I have this conversation all the time, just like, maybe we weren't meant to be this. It's the Death Stranding. Maybe we weren't meant to be this connected.
Oh yeah.
Because you know what I mean? Like, I imagine I obviously was a child in the 80s, right? But I imagine everybody probably thought everybody else sucked as much, but you didn't know how much everybody sucked because you didn't know every fucking opinion, because not everything was being quoted, documented, put on a Wikipedia, thrown at your face, yada yada yada. And I don't know if that's better or worse or whatever, but it's like,
yeah,
now you're in a part where it's just like, I can't do it. Like, I find myself opening, and I'm like, the past like a couple weeks has been like, I'll look for a while, and I'm like, cool, I'm seeing just the same 4 things over and over again from everyone else's perspective. I can't deal with this right now.
Yeah, I think the thing I'll throw out there as well is Bear, said, think locally, act locally. I'll also say, like, be present in your communities, and I don't just mean your like local community. I mean, if you are a gamer, right? Like, be present in your gaming community. If you're somebody who listens to music and loves rap music or has podcasts or whatever, be present in those communities. There was a TikTok that went viral a while ago that was about how we need like left-leaning podcasters. Like, we need the Joe Rogan of the left, right? And like, I think beyond that, I don't think it's like beyond. It's not that we need we don't need more podcasters. I think I think what we need are people that are existing in these spaces that I think are being taken over by people that are that have these right-leaning ideologies that are dog whistling the shit out of these places. Where you look at gaming, you look at, for me, right, like I look at rap music and like music in general as a space that I fucking love, and I love watching reviews and doing all this shit. Look at D&D, look at tabletop games, look at there's so many of these spaces, and I'm sure there's plenty of non-nerdy ones, right? Your rec sports league or whatever. Plenty of these spaces that I can think of that have a strong right-leaning presence, that are talking, that are spouting opinions, and a lot of it is passive. A lot of it is like they're not out here telling you like, oh man, you got to vote for Trump. It's more so just a casual thing they'll throw out there here and there. That is like, oh, that's interesting, and then you kind of move on with it. I think a lot of those spaces are being dominated by those right-leaning folks, and we don't have enough people that are, I guess, in those spaces that are doing the work on the left side that are like, trying to take those spaces back and really, I guess, characterize those spaces as left-leaning. I don't know if that makes sense what I'm saying, but
yeah, I mean, I think it goes back to like something I talked about, like on the other side of like the election, right? Of like the amount of times people would be in my DMs like, oh man, thank you for saying something. I'd be so scared to. And it's like, well, you got to drop that shit. You got to drop that shit. You know what I mean? Of like, you got to make, if somebody's saying something and you don't agree with them, I'm not saying fucking scream at them and go nuts, but I mean, you got to let them know that like, hey, I'm not with you on that because of X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
You have to have a conversation. You have to get off the bench because otherwise we just end up in Handmaid's Tale. And that's where we go on this, right? Because nobody else wants to grab the wheel except the other people who are hell-bent on doing what they want.
Yeah. You got to reach out of your echo chamber.
Yeah.
You got to reach through.
When I say act locally as well, it's not just the small community stuff, but also looking at what your political landscape is, whether it's in your town or your city, and trying to organize and rally people together to help change in local areas as well, because not everybody lives in a highly blue area, right? And even in San Francisco, like we've seen slowly over the last decade, a push to more conservative measures that have been passed time and time again. And so that's what I mean is like, yeah, we might think of San Francisco as like, oh, like everybody's just chill and cool and we're all just like good people and trying to help each other out. But there is still like a seeping in of these communities that I think by being more active on the local level, even just a little bit, is going to help.
Speaking of helping, number 5 on the Roper Report, Borderlands 4 performance. It's a video game show. God damn it. Borderlands 4 performance gets worse the longer you play on console. Randy Pitchford suggests quitting the game and restarting as a workaround. This is WYP at IGN. Wesley in Pool. Are you playing Borderlands 4 on console and have noticed odd performance problems the longer you play? You're not alone. Players have reported their frames per second count fluctuating and gameplay stuttering on console, even the PlayStation 5 Pro. In fact, oddly, particularly on the more powerful PlayStation 5 Pro. Some players think this might be the result of Borderlands 4 suffering from a memory leak, although that remains unconfirmed for now. It seems restarting the game does help. Some players are recommending restarting every few hours, which isn't ideal. But it's hard to say exactly why, because reloading can trigger changes that would perhaps improve performance anyway, such as the time of daylighting. What we do know now is that Gearbox is looking into the issue. In a tweet, Gearbox development chief Randy Pitchford told one disgruntled PlayStation 5 user that quitting the game and restarting is a workaround until the developer sorts the problem out properly. Quote, known issue of performance dropping on PlayStation 5 Pro after several hours of continuous play, he said. Workaround until we patch, quit game and restart. Sorry for the friction, end quote.
IT man Randy Pitchford, he's out here, he's on these streets, talking to the people.
In the pantheon of Randy Pitchford tweets we've read in the past 2 weeks about Borderlands and him swinging on fans. This is a measured, hey, I'm sorry, this is what we got for now, we're working on it. It's like your hackles raised, you're like, all right, actually, that's an okay one. That's an okay one.
He's like, you know what, you're right about that one, my bad.
That's on me. That's on me.
Man,
the Borderlands continuing. The struggle of this continuing to go on. God bless you all as you fight out there.
Should this have delayed? Should Borderlands have delayed?
Would it have fixed it? I don't. You know what I mean? I feel like real quick. Kebabs comes in with a super chat and says Borderlands 4 are really using the Skyrim PS3 playbook, and there is something about these games that have like you can test, but until it's in a live environment. Do you know what you're getting? I mean, like, don't get me wrong, like the PC performance and shit, like, obviously.
Yeah.
What the fuck? But, like, stuff like this in memory leak, I'm not tech savvy enough to tell you if they were like, hey, this is a huge problem. Or if they were, I mean, how many, we know about known bugs, shippable bugs. Like, this could have been one that they're like, this shippable, go for it. If people catch on, we tell them to turn off their systems. Which, again, isn't the worst thing in the world.
Oh, sure.
But it is like, I can imagine being annoyed by it or whatever, but. Sean of the Hour, where is the head of PR? It all just goes
It's
through
Randy.
Randy. It all
Randy
just goes,
wears every hat at this company, apparently.
apparently.
He's
you know what I mean?
PR, he's marketing, he's IT, he's QA. The only thing he's not really a CEO, apparently. Like, do your job.
Blessing.
That was aggressive. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Don't worry. Borderlands 4 working flawlessly is going to be big news one day. But if I wanted something smaller, say the tiniest news I need to know about, where would I go?
You go to our last news story, the Wii News channel, where we cover all the small news items you need to know about.
Number 6, the Wii News. A gaming fundraiser for Gaza relief allows you to pay $8 to access 400 games. First $8 on itch.io, players can unlock a treasure trove of cozy sims, RPGs, parentheses, yes, even one about being a cow, action games, tabletop adventures, and more to show solidarity with the humanitarian needs and the rights of Palestinian refugees. Since September 2nd, $82,000 has been raised towards the $200,000 goal, and there's just 1 week left to join the movement. There's an Instagram post and a bundle, but again, itch.io, I imagine it's on the front page of itch.io.
Oh,
You're
I don't know.
for play for peace.
If you go to, they have an easy link here, but yeah, if you go to itch.io, I assume they have it. If you go to the if you go to the Instagram post,
Coffee talk, nice.
The account is at UNRWA USA, and it'll be on the post there where they link you. And yeah, you have to like click the first link on the page to take you here, but I did it, paid $8. And yeah, they have Coffee Talk in there. They have VVV, which is a 2D platformer that I fucking love. I'm not familiar with the vast majority of these games. A lot of them are like super indie, right? Like Twine stuff that like people put together with their friends. But I love shit like this. I love having access to just hundreds of video games where I'm like, damn, in here is probably there's gonna be some gold in here, I imagine.
Yeah, some cool shit for sure. God, there's a lot of games too. Good for them. Go do it, everybody. Itch.io. If you missed the news, of course, what was it, yesterday? I've been on the road. No, 2 days ago. I'm reading from Al Jazeera. UN inquiry says Israel's war on Gaza is genocide. Holds government responsible. Huh.
Will we listen to that?
Who knew?
Huh.
Huh.
Will anything change?
Huh. From VGC, Dark Math Games, one of the multiple studios to spin off from Disco Elysium developer Zaum, is that how we decided to start saying this?
That's how I say it.
Has renamed its spiritual follow-up and pivoted away from the isometric gameplay it's known for. XXX Night Shift has changed its name to Tangerine Antarctic. Oof.
You gotta figure out somebody else to name your games.
All right.
XXX Night Shift?
Tangerine Antarctic. In addition, the game has pivoted away from the previously announced isometric gameplay and is now a third-person RPG. Marvel Cosmic Invasion reveals Cosmic Ghost Rider and Black Panther. Can I see the trailer? Because I did not get a chance to see this while I was on the road. And when I saw this going to games, the games daily, I was like, release date. And I'm like, 2 characters.
Yeah.
Huh.
It'll
Just 2
come
characters. I know it's going to come out.
It'll come out.
They said this year, though, and I would really like to play it immediately. So I would really love...
You ain't got time to play it.
I know right now.
We're gonna make time to play this game.
I mean, when this comes though, when's it gonna come?
I don't know.
Just come out. And
January.
January? No.
Please, no.
Actually, January. Okay. That's sooner. As long as it's not.
You know what?
I don't want
I need it to come out this year.
I can say December. Game Awards out now.
Okay.
Game Awards pre-show.
My fantasy critic is riding on this game because if this game comes out this year, it's getting big points.
You think so?
Oh, TMNT Shredder's Revenge got big points.
Yeah.
Here, I got bad news for you. Mike's probably gonna win Fantasy Critic this year.
Why?
Because him and Roger just collude.
What do you know now?
Man, they're colluding in the Discord.
What do you know now?
Well, it was the thing that what did Mike bring up the other day that like got him pretty high up there? Didn't he get a game? Trails the First Sky.
Yeah, Trails fucking whatever.
It's that
first
Trails
chapter.
game, and then I think does he still have another spot open?
He does, but like,
and Roger,
I think it really needs to like him winning. Guarantee needs to hinge on whatever the fuck he picks up.
Raj and Mike they're colluding in a way where I think they're going to try and make sure Mike wins. And listen, they're playing the game. As long as they don't break the rules, it's cool.
They've said out loud, "We're cheating."
Yeah.
Taking a page out of the
playing
government's playbook. Retro isometric puzzler Lumo 2 will launch on Switch on the 17th of October.
This one looks cool as well. I wish listed this game. It's a isometric. Oh, it's here, right? Isometric puzzler with a cool style to it.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
Are these filters? Or is
These are
this just-
filters,
okay.
yeah. Because it's like, idea of it is it's supposed to be harking back to like a bunch of retro games.
Yeah.
And so it's like a collection of different things going on here. But I think it looks neat.
I'm glad. Skate Story is coming to Nintendo Switch 2 and PC in 2025. Blue Prince has surpassed 2 million players. Ratatan is out now for PC early access. And Monster Hunter Now Season 7 Advent of the Exploration Base is out now as well.
Nice.
Big day for Greg Miller.
Huge day.
Huge day. Of course, we ask you, that's the end of Wii News, to be part of the show with your super chats over on youtube.com/kindafunnygames. Ricardo says, spreading the love for my friend's indie game. Foldy's OS Quest is a retro-style 3D platformer dripping with early Windows and internet nostalgia. The demo's out now on Steam. Barrett, if I could get a trailer at some point for Foldy's OS Quest, that'd be great. That means operating system. See, Woody says, first birthday tax. I turned 30 today. Feels weird being half of Greg's age. No, it's Nick's age.
Happy
Nick's
birthday.
old, not me. Thanks for the endless hours of entertainment. P.S. More in reviews, please. It's my favorite show. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And we will continue to do one in review a
Oh.
week, all right?
Yeah, this Foldies game looks fun. This looks ridiculous.
For an audio listener, yeah, you're a little file folder running through. Now you're spell check.
Like all the levels look like they're inspired by
yeah, like you're inside
Windows
the,
XP type shit.
Shit, fuck, that actually seems cool as hell.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna add, hold on. I'm gonna add that to my Steam wish list. Yeah, that's how you do it. You gotta
That's
help.
how you do it.
Foldy.
I'm gonna do that too.
Foldy's OS.
Also, somebody says Blessing can stop them. I have to know how they're cheating is the thing.
Yeah, he can't
They
just.
said they're gonna announce it tomorrow on Games Daily, which
I hate
like
them.
They announced it like they're terrorists.
yeah.
Yeah,
They're like at Friday at 10
they make me so
a.m.,
proud.
We're
you
gonna
know?
make an
They
announcement.
really have been fans of mine a long
Don't
time.
own this. Don't be
being
proud
crazy?
of this.
Being crazy, doing crazy shit to cheat to
Being
win.
a couple assholes.
Because like technically, I don't know if persuading people on the Fantasy Critic Discord is actually cheating,
It's not.
but like we can have a conversation next season to be like, yo,
No, I think that's fine. But the way they're talking about whatever this big reveal tomorrow is, it feels like whatever they're planning feels like more than that.
I just
You
saw in
know?
the chat for the third time somebody say Long Winter. I've opened this Steam page. Animal Crossing knockoff over here. Fish, farm, craft, gather, cook, loot, or steal from other players and build a campsite in a village with your friends in an open world multiplayer sandbox game without rules. I like Animal Crossing because of the simplicity of it. Getting my friends in there and doing this thing sounds like that's a streaming thing they want with the boys, not me. Blue-haired protagonist says, day one of riding till Andy comes back to Game Showdown. Parentheses, I had to get in here a day early in case Andy is still Team Purple. We'll find out tomorrow who Team Purple is. I don't know.
Foldies.
Leon Super Chat says, birthday tax. As a birthday gift to myself, I bought the full Overwatch 2 Cross Persona 5 collab bundle. Was it too much money? Maybe. Do I regret it? Not at all.
I was misspelling Foldy.
Happy
There we go.
birthday.
We
Happy
found it.
birthday, Leon.
Foldy's OS Quest. That is Foldy Foldy.
Moose Springsteen has a birthday tax as well. Happy birthday to you,
Happy
Moose.
birthday.
And then Calvin Perez says, I am so late, but I used to work at the Experience Store. Hope you had a good time. It was chaotic to work there. I was the lead tour guide, lol. They give tours apparently too.
That was cool.
I didn't know that. I've only ever come for events. We ask you watching live to keep us honest by going to kindafunny.com/you're wrong to tell us what we screw up as we screw it up.
I don't know.
We didn't say that they dropped Kimmel. We said he was suspended. Well, we said that he's off the air, but he's suspended. We're aware of that. Lucid Dream says Randy actually moved the release date of Borderlands 4 up by about 2 weeks.
They did. They did the opposite of
Right,
Borderlands 4.
right,
Remember
right,
that?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember that now. And then Lumeni says Lumo 2 is also on PS5, Xbox Series X,
Hold on.
S, and PC.
Yeah, we gotta talk about that. They fucking moved that game up, and that shit was not that shit was not as ready as it should have been. Why'd they do that?
They knew it was coming.
Was it Marathon? And they said it wasn't Marathon, so why'd the fuck they do it?
Remember when everybody thought it was going to be GTA related? That was the
Yeah.
big problem.
What's happening?
Ladies, gentlemen, and NBs, that's another episode of Kinda Funny Games Daily in the books, but we are far from done gabbing about games. The Kinda Funny Gamescast is up next, and they are reviewing Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. After that, it is a Kinda Funny Screencast talking about all the movies coming the rest of the year, and then Lego Voyagers with Mike and Nick is your stream. If you love the fact that an independent group of 11 folks chuckleheads, some would say, are able to make that much content for you every day, you should probably pick up a Kinda Funny membership and keep the lights and mics on. $10 a month gets you 80 episodes of content ad-free, the ability to see me every day in your ears and eyes with Gregway, and of course, good karma for supporting a small independent business. No books tossed away, no big deal. Like, subscribe, share, and check us out tomorrow. Remember, Games Daily starts your programming day 10 a.m. Pacific. YouTube.com/KindaFunnyGames, Twitch.tv/KindaFunnyGames, and podcast services around the globe. No matter how you get it, thanks for your support. Until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.